Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary and critique videos. Basically, I just love sharing my opinion on a bunch of stuff that goes on the internet. So if any of that interests you, then make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload. Alrighty guys, so today's video is one that I didn't really think I'd be making anytime soon. I mean, like probably a lot of you thought that Shane Dawson had finished his series and had crawled into whatever hole he goes into when he's not uploading and was gonna stay there for a while and not upload for like another year. But no, Shane Dawson actually made a second channel called Shane Glossin, which if you don't know, that was kind of like his alter ego that they made up in the Jeffree Star series. And I think a lot of this had to do with some drama that was going on Twitter, where somebody said that, you know, I think it's really interesting that Shane Dawson created this makeup palette and this whole series around makeup and all this type of stuff, yet he's hardly ever seen wearing makeup. So a lot of people think that Shane Dawson created this channel to kind of show or prove that he does, and who knows, you know, he probably does care about makeup to a certain extent, but there definitely is a cash grab element, if you will, to this entire thing, which we're going to get into today. But the reason I bring this up is because on that second channel, he just uploaded like his first official video, which is called The End of the Beauty World. The video is bloopers and unseen footage from the original Jeffree Star series for Shane Dawson. Now, if you do not know, I actually did a kind of an after special commentary series on every single episode of Shane Dawson's series with Jeffree Star. So if for some reason you would like to go ahead and check those out, please go ahead and do so. The link to that playlist will be down below. But if you had watched that series, you would have known that my reaction and my response to the series was very interesting. We started off really positive, really enjoying it, and then as I started to realize that the series was not so much about exposing the beauty world, but more so about selling the palette and just being one big fat commercial, my opinion of the series really started to decline, to the point where by the end of the commentary series, I was just not enjoying pretty much anything. My last review was pretty negative, but I had a lot of reasons as to why that was. And then when the series wrapped up a couple weeks later, I was just doing a lot of reflecting and thinking about Shane Dawson's content in general, and I created this video which is titled My Problems with Shane Dawson's Content, and I basically just described all of my problems there. So if you are interested in any of that, then go ahead and check the description. You can go ahead and watch that video. But the reason I bring this up is because I've made my fair share of videos on Shane Dawson this year, and well, not this year actually, because it's 2020 now, so I guess this is my first video on Shane Dawson, in which case that's not really that bad. But anyway, so he dropped this video yesterday and it was #1 on trending. The reason this video is a little bit late is because I was actually having sort of a beach getaway with my family for my birthday. That's why I'm kind of like sunburnt, but I had a great time. It was so nice. Thank you to everyone who wished me happy birthday. Really appreciate it. Still can't believe I'm 20 and no longer a teenager. That's freaking weird. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So I asked you guys in my community tab if you wanted me to do a commentary video on this, and 92% of you said yes, so that is what we are doing. A lot of interesting stuff happened in this video, so I just want to get to it. But before we do, the video was #1 on trending yesterday. It's #2 on trending today. It currently, as I'm recording this, has almost 6 million views and it has almost 500,000 likes and almost 10,000 dislikes. So the video is being received really well, and I will say that as opposed to majority of the videos in the series, I actually did kind of enjoy this one. I think it's because it was a bit more fast-paced. There wasn't so much like filler content. I mean, obviously the video was just bloopers and unseen footage, so it didn't really have much of a storyline. It was just kind of there. And I think that this video is kind of a way for Shane Dawson to give us all of the stuff that we wanted from the series that he promised in the trailer that he never gave to us, almost as a way to appease the masses. But I don't know if he really did that. So that's what we're going to find out in today's video. Did Shane Dawson really give us the tea that he promised and the tea that we craved? I guess we'll just have to keep on watching to find out. Alrighty guys, so let's get into it. So off the bat, the very first scene in this video, it's very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys real quick.
Oh, something really exciting happened today. Beauty Bay was so shook when they saw it all. They want way more than they first projected. Like, they knew it was gonna be good, but they were like, oh, even if there wasn't a series, this would sell out on its own. And I was like, whoa!
That's crazy.
When they saw it, they were like, oh, you could announce this tomorrow and just drop it without a series. And I was like,
that would be easier.
Come to think of it. Where's the hard bit? Oh my god. After all this, we're like, fuck this.
So as you can see, they're talking about how the anticipation for the makeup palette and the launch is so strong that their beauty outlet, Beauty Bay, was basically saying, you know, you could just drop it now without even a series. You could announce it tomorrow and just drop the series. Shane goes on about how that would be so much easier, and they're like joking about like not making the series because the palette will sell out anyway, which I think is very interesting because of a lot of the criticism where people have said that this entire series is just a marketing scheme and a cash grab for them to make money off of their makeup, when Shane's all about like, no, I'm really passionate about this series. Like, this series is documenting making the makeup, not to promote the makeup. It's just absolute bullshit. Like, I think this little scene just proves that to a T. I don't think it was ever really about the series that much. I think that the series was there and I'm sure he wanted to make it, but I feel like the series, like I said in my video talking about the whole series as a whole, it just ended up being a huge marketing ploy and a huge cash grab, and I just think that's really evident in the scene. I was honestly really surprised that Shane even put it in, because it just shows how much they would just kind of focus on the makeup and they were like, ugh, the series, like, oh, we could just drop it. Which, on top of that as well, the fact that he said that the series would be 9 parts and then cut it to 6 because he was just kind of like over it. The second the palette comes out, he's like, okay, the series is done. I just think that it's really hard for me to believe that this wasn't a marketing scheme and a cash grab, because I mean, the proof is in the pudding, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, moving on from that, next up we get something that we were asking for and that we wanted, which is great. So in the trailer for the series, there was a few scenes of a 911 phone call and what looked to be somebody in security cameras. So this was obviously very interesting, very intriguing. A lot of us wanted to know about this, but then Shane never ended up actually putting it in the series, which was so incredibly frustrating. So here he gives it to us months later out of the series, but needless to say, I'm still glad that we got to see what happened. Now, basically the long and short of it is that Shane and Ryland were just chilling at home, you know, just vibing, whatever, chilling in their mansion, and they heard somebody knocking on the door. And they checked their security cameras, and there's this man in a hoodie and with a backpack, and he's like knocking on the doors, banging on the windows. Like, I'm not going to diminish that. It obviously would have been a very scary experience for sure. And obviously it was super dramatized, as Shane does with everything we've come to know at this point. But I do think it's kind of interesting how Shane's talking about how Jeffree told him that, you know, he needs to up his security because people are going to come for him now. And Shane thought that he meant on Twitter, but like, no, people are actually going to come to your house and like try rob you for the palette, which is obviously really scary. However, I don't think there's really any proof to say that that's why the guy was there, because Shane was like, what other reason would there be? You live in a huge house. Like, what happens if somebody just wanted to rob you? I don't know if it's exactly related to that. I just think that it kind of fits well with their narrative. But that being said, there wasn't much to it. Like, they didn't find out why the guy was there. Basically, cops came, they grabbed the guy, they asked Shane if he knew who he was. He said he didn't. The guy had a backpack full of drugs, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously a very scary experience for them, but I'm glad we finally got to figure out what happened in that incident, and Shane has now upped his security, which is great. You know, a lot of YouTubers, it sucks that people come to their houses, but you are a former celebrity, so I definitely think that a lot of them should have security, that's for sure. But anyway, something that I thought was really interesting was they were having another kind of creative pitch meeting, which is just kind of like Jeffree and Shane getting excited about ideas and yelling over each other, and they were talking about potentially making a Shane Dawson times Jeffree Star face palette. Obviously they never ended up doing this, although I feel like they probably will now, because I feel like a lot of people are going to ask for this, and this is kind of a way for them to like test the waters and see if people are interested in it. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if in a month or two we got a Shane Dawson times Jeffree Star face palette, because their fans pretty much eat anything that they sell. But yeah, it was going to be kind of like a can, I believe. Like, it was going to open up and it was going to have contour, highlighter, and blush, and they're going to be named after like different foods and stuff that Shane likes, like diet root beer and Cheeto dust and all that other stuff. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. Something that was really funny though was they were talking about like how it'd be amazing and how it would sell out, and Jeffree was like, ooh, I can hear the website crashing, which is just interesting foreshadowing given what happened later on, if you know what I mean. Ugh, tea's lukewarm, not piping hot. Anyway, so then it cuts to a completely different scene, and Shane Dawson gets his first PR package, as he is now a beauty guru, I guess. And he says that he's on 15 different PR lists and that he was actually on the Kat Von D one, but he told them to take him off, obviously, because, you know, Kat Von D and Jeffree Star have their drama. So his first PR package is from Fenty Beauty, and it's this huge package, and they're joking about Rihanna, all that type of shit. Like, let me just say that, no offense, but I highly doubt that Rihanna knows who Shane Dawson is. She probably has a team who, like, scouts for people to send PR to, but that was funny nonetheless. So there's so many products in there that they decided to take them all out and research them and see how much they cost, add them all together, and turns out that he had $1,200 worth of makeup, which is obviously a shit ton, although Shane acts like that's a lot of money when we know he's a millionaire. Whatevs. I thought this section was really interesting because there was like all these different montages of like Fenty Beauty and all their different products, and it went on for quite a while. I almost was like, is this like an ad segment? Like, are you sponsored by Fenty Beauty? But I don't know, I think Shane Dawson just gets really carried away with his editing. But anyway, after that we get into some more bloopers and some unseen footage, and we see stuff about like how people were getting the pig tattoo, which Jesus, people just tattoo anything on their body these days. No, I'm kidding. But people were getting the Shane Dawson logo tattooed on themselves. And then Jeffree was like, oh my god, should we get one? Should we get Kat Von D to do it? I mean, she has a kid, she needs the money. Which I didn't even find that funny. I just thought it was really mean. Like, obviously a lot of people don't like Kat Von D because she doesn't vaccinate her children and all this type of stuff. But I don't know, I just thought, like, the fact that he brought that she has a kid into it, I was like, come on, Jeffree. Like, sometimes he's just a little too mean for my liking. Like, I can take dark humor, but that one was a little too dark, if you ask me. Okay, so then we get into this whole section, which is just more unseen footage from that segment in the series where they were speaking about all the rude beauty gurus from when Morgan went on her brand trip. If you don't remember, Morgan went to Hawaii with a brand, which we later discover, not through them, but through other tea channels, is that it was by Tarte. So Morgan went on a brand trip and she just did not have a good time. All the beauty gurus and influencers and Instagrammers were mean, which... shocker, like I'm not surprised. They were all just super obsessed with like superficial stuff and follower accounts and getting free stuff. So none of this was really surprising to me. I feel like a lot of us know that a lot of these influencers, especially the ones who pretty much just get by on their looks, are pretty superficial and pretty nasty. But we did get some interesting stuff. Like they were speaking about this thing called the 30% rule, which I didn't know about. Morgan was talking about how they'll only be friends with people who are 30% below them or 30% above them in followers. That way, if it's with someone below them, they're not going to be in competition, and if it's with someone above them, they can use them to social climb. I thought that was really interesting. Obviously it's very disgusting. And then she was also speaking about how somebody asked her where her top was and said it was cute, and she's like, oh, I got it from here. And they were like, what, you bought that? And yeah, she was just speaking about how they're obsessed with getting free stuff, and they'll go to restaurants and say, oh, can we eat you for free and we'll tag you on our Instagram story, which is like disgusting. Could you imagine doing that in real life? Y'all make me sick. Ugh. So anyways, Shane's talking to Jeffree about this, and Jeffree speaks about how he went on tons of these brand trips, and a lot of these influencers lose their inhibitions and they smuggle some paraphernalia, if you get what I mean, into all these different islands and stuff like that, even though they could get arrested, but they just do it for the thrill and they just get drunk. I feel like we've been new that a lot of these beauty gurus who are like 26 years old who make back to school videos are probably like getting blackout drunk on the weekends. Like, we've been new. But anyway, still interesting nonetheless. Alrighty, and then after this is where the actual tea is. So we finally see some unseen footage from Dramageddon with Tati, Westbrook, and James Charles, the whole bi-sister scandal. We've been new. It's so old at this point. I honestly wish we left that shit back in 2019, but apparently not, because Shane Glossin decided to bring it back. Anyways, so Shane, like, he really doesn't tell us much. He basically just shows to Andrew how Tati, another video about the situation, and he like goes on this massive rant, and he's like, all these beauty gurus are in my DMs and they're sending me voice memos and they're asking for advice. Just shut the fuck up. And I was like, bruh, calm your tits. Second of all, I just think it's so ironic how he speaks about these beauty gurus and how they're all in drama and they need to shut up when he's friends with Jeffree Star, who instigates and perpetuates so much drama. It's just very ironic if you ask me. But yeah, that's literally it. He just didn't give us any new information. He just kind of gave us another one of his reactions. It was very underwhelming, and yeah, it's pretty much it. It was pretty much just him yelling. It was kind of funny, I guess. But next up, we got some footage that we actually didn't really see anything of in the series. Actually, we got some behind the scenes of the Jacqueline Hill lipstick gate situation. So obviously, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do because it was all over the internet last year, Jacqueline Hill came out with Jacqueline Hill Cosmetics, where she sold a whole different line of nude lipsticks, and the lipsticks were moldy, they had bits of metal in them, they had hair in them. Honestly, just one of the worst launches in makeup history. So yeah, we see Jeffree and Shane's reaction to that, and Shane and Jeffree are just kind of like chilling in Shane's beauty room, and then Jeffree's like, is there mold in that one? While Shane's picking out a lipstick, and he's like, yeah. He just says it so casually, and then he's speaking about how there's hair in all of his lipsticks from his PR box, as if they were like rubbed against his dog. Jeffree just kind of goes off. He's like, this whole situation is Harry the house, and they just speak about how much of a mess it was and how this happened to Jeffree once before, but only with one product, and he completely recalled it and fixed the entire situation. And we don't really get much out of it. Honestly, if I was Jacqueline Hill, I'd be kind of irritated that they did this because it didn't really give you any new information. It was just the reaction. It just kind of like rehashes a lot of the old stuff. I think the thing is with Shane Dawson's series, because they're filmed so long ago and then edited so much later, he always seems to be rehashing old dramas, even though he says he doesn't like the drama, and he just doesn't really provide any new information on it. He kind of just gives his reaction to it and brings it back up again. It's just kind of like tiring. Like, we get it, let's move on. I think the whole Jacqueline situation was messed up for sure. Girl handled that so badly, but like, Shane, give us some fresh content. If you're gonna bring up the old stuff, at least give us something new that we haven't heard of yet instead of just rehashing it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Alrighty, so the final scene in this episode is where they basically just speak about the green shade drama, which if you don't know, they were showing all the different shades that they wanted to put in the palette originally, and they did some market research which entailed them asking one employee what their opinion was. The employee said they didn't like the green shade, so they removed it from the palette, and everybody was in an uproar, and then they brought the green shade back, so all was well. I don't really get why they brought it up, but it was there. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all the notes I have. Now, Fuck, I think I just broke my notebook. Anyway, the tea at this point is stale, it's cold, flavorless. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about my overall thoughts and opinions on this episode. Now, I think this episode is okay. Like, it was okay, it was kind of enjoyable, it was fun to watch, I guess. Now, when it comes to a lot of the stuff that Shane showed in the trailer that was supposed to be in the series that we wanted from the series, I think it would have been better if he had just put it in the series originally instead of shoving it all in this video. And besides that, there's still missing pieces, there's still things that were not told to us and still not revealed to us, but at this point, I'm just over it. Like, I spoke about this in my final review of the series, and I don't care anymore. He's obviously not going to deliver what he promised, and I'm over it. I just have lost my trust for you, Shane. When it comes to another series, maybe I'm just not even going to watch the trailer because you've proven that your trailers don't mean shit. Okay, they're just sensationalized and they don't even include a lot of the stuff that are in there. That being said, I think this video was a good thing. I think it's good that he showed us some more behind the scenes. I mean, I'd rather it be out than not be out, that's for sure, and a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. And I'm trying not to be too much of a pessimist, but really, this entire series just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We got a bit of tea in this. It was stale and cold nonetheless, but we got some tea. I'm feeling quenched. Now that's it. Alrighty, I hope the next thing that Shane Dawson brings out in 2020 is going to be good and going to be structured and going to really deliver what he promises. Alrighty guys, that's it for me in this video. Please let me know what you thought of this episode down below. Let me know if you think I'm being too pessimistic or if you agree with me. I would just love to hear your thoughts and opinions, so definitely leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you've not already, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. And if you'd like to go ahead and follow me on any of my social media, they're just linked down below. And if you would also like to go ahead and purchase any of my merch, link down below as well. It's all about sharing your opinion. And yeah guys, that's for me in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see my next one. And as always, I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're in the world. Bye.